Good morning, peace and blessings. Happy Tuesday. I'm the Moon Mama, and Tuesday is a day that is governed by Mars, and Mars is currently at the 8th degree of Libra, where we're having a Mercury retrograde and we're having a new moon on October 6th. So we are in a tremendous amount of astrological energy that's happening. We are in a profound energetic shift. Like after this Mercury retrograde is over with, Mercury retrograde happening on the end of the fall equinox, and now we are having a new moon in Libra, and these are cardinal signs, and so the energy is rapidly changing. We are in for deep transformation in ways that it's kind of hard to wrap your mind around. At least for me, it can be. If I didn't have the astrology, if I didn't read it on a regular basis, hi everybody, how you guys doing? If I didn't read the astrology on a regular basis, I don't know what I would do. I would be taking everything personally right now, probably. But because I read the astrology, I know that we are we're changing at our core. We are literally changing at the depths of ourselves. So Mars is at the 8th degree of Libra, and the 8th degree is the degree that governs goodness, and the moon is in Cancer. We are starting a new moon cycle today. I'm not going to be teaching moon cycles this month, but at some point I'm probably going to come back around to it. I'm an astrologer, so I read it. No, I don't. Like I read it. Like I just read where the placements are. So I don't read it from any place. I read it from my own knowledge. So, Natty Dread. Yeah, Natty Dread. Yeah, so I read it from my own knowledge, and so that's how I do it. Anyway, and you can study and learn how to do it. Start studying symbols, start studying the astrology, the placements, the houses, and sooner or later it'll catch on and you'll start to speak the language of it. So yeah, it's something that you can teach yourself to do it. It's quite, I don't want to say it's easy, but once you get into the mindset of learning to read symbols, it becomes easy, is what I'll say. So Mars is the energy of action. It's the energy of assertion. It's the energy that governs how we move through the earth realm. And Mars is in Libra, and Libra is about partnership, marriage and partnership. We also have a Mercury retrograde happening in Libra. The sun is in Libra, and we're having a new moon in Libra on October 6th. So really what's happening right now is we're getting an opportunity to redefine the way we do relationships. And, it's the thing that's important to realize about the Libra energy is that Libra is the energy that governs the mirror, really. It's like, the scales, right? So this one side of the scale reflects the other side of the scale. So one of the things that I think is most significant about Libra is recognizing that everyone in your reality is a reflection of you on some level. What's challenging is that, if someone is reflecting to us something that we think is undesirable, the tendency is to reject that, so maybe you have somebody in your life who is lying, or maybe you have somebody in your life who is, really depressed all the time, or an energy drain. And what we'll do is we'll say, we'll reject that. Like, that's not me. But the work with Libra is always to ask, where is that happening in my own consciousness? Because everything about Libra is a reflection. Everything about Libra says that this is a mirror. So it requires that you put on your big boy and big girl panties and be willing to look at yourself and your shadow so that you can really own everything. There's this idea that we have in the West that we don't need negativity. But the reality is that if you think about anything in the universe, the night is the negative and the day is the positive. In a car, when a car needs to move forward, a car battery charge has a negative charge and a positive charge. We need negativity as much as we do positivity. And that is the great trick that the West has played on all of its citizens. We have these polarized binary ways of thinking, of good and bad and right and wrong and black and white and Democrat, Republican and up and down and all that bullshit. And literally it's just bullshit. We need as much negative as we do positive in order for us to progress ourselves forward. If you look at nature does not reject anything. Nature does not say, oh, I don't want the rotten fruit when it falls down to the ground. Nature says, okay, I'm going to take this rotten fruit and compost it and take it back into the soil and then bring it out as a new fruit, in a new season and a new time. This is also the truth about who we are as human beings, especially those who are melanated beings. We have an incredible power within us and with melanin, the carbon, to be able to transmute energy, to be able to transmute something from one form into another form. That's why we came here to build this country, because we are transmuters. And the more that we give ourselves permission to recognize that as a power, then the more that we can transmute anything that is negative, and we don't have to be afraid of anything. But it requires being responsible. It requires recognizing that you are responsible for everything in your life, that everything in your life is your creation, is coming to you for some reason and somehow to support you in becoming who you're here to be. One of the things that I learned growing up, and I've shared with you guys before, just growing up in an environment where there was a lot of poverty, where there was a lot of drug addiction, grew up in the 80s where the crack epidemic was, there was, what was his name? Freeway Ricky Williams. He was like the author of the quote unquote, he was the one who took the blame for the crack epidemic, right? Even though George Bush and Ronald Reagan were the authors of it. But, having seen so much negativity in my life, I realized at some point that it was sort of my responsibility to be able to transmute it, to literally be able to be able to take something from one way of being and run it through my own system, right? Through my own beliefs, through my own feelings, and through my own divine power, so that I could make it into something else, right? It's like the caterpillar becoming a cocoon and liquefying something and transmuting until it becomes a butterfly. We all have the power to do that. We all have the potential to do that. We all have the skills to do that if we would allow ourselves to face the things that are hard, to face the things that we don't like, to face the things that are that feel oppressive, until you actually just can move your energy through them until they become something else. So Mars in Libra at the 8th degree, and like I said, we're about to have a new moon in Libra. We're having a Mercury retrograde in Libra. We are literally, and the governing power of this energy, Mars, the sun, Mercury, all of that in Libra, is Venus, which is currently in Scorpio. So a lot of shadow stuff is coming up now. Shadow stuff around relationships, shadow stuff around betrayal, sexual betrayal, heartbreak. All of those things are up right now because of this Mercury retrograde. And if you're up for it, if you're willing to do the deep work, you can transmute it through embracing the shadow, embracing, the things that are painful, by being willing to face yourself, by being willing to face your family karma, by being willing to look at the parts of yourself that you have put away, that you're ashamed of, that you have guilt about, that you have shame, guilt, all the stuff that we just put aside because it's too much, right? And your fears, right? Your doubts, your worries, all of that stuff is a part of energy. It's all just energy. And if you're willing to look at it, if you're willing to embrace it, if you're willing to give yourself the courage that it requires, because the opposite of Libra is Aries. And Aries requires courage. It means that we are here to face our fears right now. It means that we're here to feel things in a deep way. And it doesn't feel good. It is not pretty. It is not fun. But if you are willing to connect to your higher self, you can't go wrong. The Spirit of God within you will carry you through it into another way of being. I was raised a Christian, like many of us were. And, though I don't believe that Christianity worked, I really am clear that it didn't work. But there were things about it that, kind of made sense sometimes. And one of the things that made sense was this ability to die, right? Jesus Christ died. And in the dying, there was a sacrificing of the pain, there was a taking on of the pain, of the agony, of the abuse. Forgive them, Father, for they know not what they do. He was taking on the trauma, the terror, the pain, the sadness of humanity. And we are all Jesus Christ. And all we have to do is look at our own sadness, our own despair, our own heartbreak, and take it into ourselves through the love of God, through the love of our desire to be made new, to be transformed, and allow ourselves to die to the thing that is, what's the word? To the thing that needs to be resurrected, right? Allow ourselves to die to these experiences, and then we will be resurrected and made new. And it's an internal thing. One of the things that made me so sad, makes me so sad about how we were taught to be Christians, is that we weren't told that we are Jesus Christ. We are the Christ consciousness, right? Jesus Christ wasn't a human being. There's actually no proof that Jesus Christ actually lived on the planet. There's so many translations of the name, so many translations of the stories. One of the things that I really got clear about when I was in Egypt is that the whole doctrine of the Bible was completely picked up from the Egyptian Book of the Dead. And all of the stories and scenarios that the Bible claimed as their own come from Kemet, come from the land of the Black people, which are who we are. And one of the things that I'm so aware of and so clear about, that I understand now that I didn't understand, is that the people who built the pyramids in Egypt are also the people who came to America to build America. The same lineage, the same bloodline, the same power. So we are very, very, very powerful people. And the more we unplug from the system that is designed to drain our energy, that is designed to keep us oppressed and out of our power, the more we really give ourselves permission to embody it in a deeper way and transmute it through love, and stop blaming white people. Now, I understand that's a hard thing to do, because it's easy to blame white people, and it might be fun to even blame them. But the more we blame them, the more we don't have the responsibility and the power that we need in order to transmute this stuff. So while Mercury is in retrograde, and we are looking at, and Venus is in Scorpio, the governor of Mercury in retrograde, Mars in Libra, we have an opportunity to dig deep into the shadows, right? Like, look at your family karma. Is there sexual molestation in your family? Is there, depression in your family? Is there frustration and addiction in your family? What are the shadow patterns and behaviors that your family has been functioning around or under? Maybe there's scarcity thinking, illnesses, heart disease, diabetes, all that shadow fucking shit. All that is shadow stuff. And begin to do the work to transmute it. And the more that you can give yourself permission through self-love to really trust that you are here for a reason, and that your family contract and your karmic contract is the reason that you're here. And when you can embody those reasons and gracefully take them on through self-love, you can transmute anything. Okay, so Liz Magnus says, turn around to face the boogeyman who has us running and running. Absolutely. That's really it, because there is no boogeyman. There really is nothing to be afraid of. The only thing, oh, thank you for saying I have a cute dress. I like clothes. Anyway, the only thing that we ever have to be afraid of is the stories that we make up in our mind that tell us that we can't do the things that we're actually made to do, born to do. And so with that, the moon is in Cancer today, and it's in the last quarter phase. So with the moon in Cancer, you can really look at this, we're in a new moon cycle. So Cancer is about home. Cancer is about the mother. Cancer is about healing your emotions. Cancer is about feeling deeply your emotions. So as we are in this retrograde energy and Mars and Libra and all that sort of stuff, and all of these relationship things are coming undone, feel what you feel. Feel heartbreak. Feel it. It's okay. Feel sadness in the depths of yourself. Feel it. Cry. Release. Go into the depths of yourself and feel your own pain. Feel your mother's pain. Feel your grandmother's pain. Feel the ancestors' pain. Feel it and weep and weep and weep and let it out and release it. Because when you release it, that's it. We are in a new cycle. This retrograde is going to clean up so much if you allow it to be cleaned up. But you cannot run from it. You have to feel it. And if you have the courage to feel it, you will be freed. You will be freed. I guarantee you. So for those of you who want to do Mercury retrograde readings, you can, I haven't put it in my Linktree yet. I'm going to put the link in my Linktree, and you can book a Mercury retrograde reading with me, and I can look at your chart and tell you exactly what is being made as is being offered to you. As an aspect of this retrograde, the retrograde started with Mercury in a square to Pluto in Capricorn. And the Pluto in Capricorn is about your personal authority. So at the end of this retrograde, and we will have our personal authority back if you do the fucking work, okay? If you do the work, you'll get your authority back. And that is the greatest gift of our humanity, for us to have authority over our lives and to realize that we have dominion over this 3D reality. We have dominion over it through our thinking, through our choices, and through our subtle power. Our power is subtle. It took me a really long time to understand what it meant, to understand that my power was subtle. So if you're carrying trauma, and if you're carrying, all sorts of unfinished things, your subtle power, you can't access it, because trauma and all of that blocks subtle power. Your subtle power is literally that first impulse. That's it. By the time you start scrambling and guessing and, oh my God, you've already killed it. Subtle power is soft, it is subtle, and it happens in the breath. It literally is that close to you. And so it means that you have to let go of a ton of old trauma and things that we've carried through our family structures. So if you just think about it, as Black people, we carry generations of trauma in our blood systems, because our mothers, our great grandmothers and great grandmothers spent years being raped and brutalized and giving their children away and having their children taken away from them. And all of that stuff gets carried in the blood system. So we want to really do the work to heal ourselves. We want to really take it on, not just for yourself. Let go of the petty stuff, like all the petty name calling, and let go of all the juxtapositioning and caring about pretenses and how things look and all that kind of stuff. I'm not saying not to have a good time and not to enjoy yourself, but right now we need to fucking think about healing, because that's the thing that's most important. And healing is messy. Healing is uncomfortable, and healing is not that fun, but the result and the rewards are more than you can ever imagine, and your ancestors will thank you, and the generations that come after you will thank you. So with that, I'm the Moon Mama. I love y'all so very much. Have a beautiful day. Peace and blessings. Let me see if there are any comments, anything I need to. Moon Mama, one question. In the beginning, you mentioned we are now in a Cancer moon. Yes, we are in a Cancer moon. Yes, we are in a Cancer moon. So that's the answer to that. Yes. Are we in a Cancer moon, or are we still in? Yeah, we're in a Cancer moon, but the sun is in Libra, and today is a Tuesday, and Tuesday is governed by Mars, and Mars is in Libra. So we have a Mars day with Mars in Libra and a moon in Cancer. I hope that answered your question. Oh, thank you. Oh, Monique, you are glowing, and these words and their specific timing is perfect. We have built and rebuilt the world. Yes, exactly. All right. All right, y'all. Peace and blessings. Let me see one other question. Is the moon going back in Libra on October 6th? Yes. The moon will be in Libra on October 6th, and we will have a new moon in Libra on October 6th. Good. See, I think you're getting it together now. Okay, perfect. Definitely want a Mercury retrograde reading. Okay, that sounds great. I'm going to put the link up in my link tree. All right, everybody. I love y'all. Have a really wonderful day. Oh, somebody wants to join. Okay. Peace and blessings, you all. Bye-bye.